Let's get down into it. I just decided to send you this video anyways because we are entering what? 2025. And my question to you is, are you still struggling with your food program? And so I'm Alana Jones. I am a child nutrition specialist. I work with childcare, school nutrition directors, and community organizations that offer the USDA food programs, whether that be National School Lunch Program, School Breakfast, CACFP, that's the child and adult care food program. And what I do is I act as your virtual assistant. I act as your administrative assistant for those programs. Because if you are operating that program, or if you are interested in operating those programs, you know those programs come with a lot of rules and a lot of regulations. So let's talk about it. What I wanted to ask you is, are you still struggling? So ways that you may be struggling. So it might be time to plan menus. You don't have menus. You might have menus, but you're not sure they're compliant, okay? You don't have staff who are completing the paperwork correctly, or maybe they need training. Those might be ways that you're struggling. It's time to order groceries. You don't have groceries, right? And the reason these things are happening in your organization is because you're wearing too many hats. Am I right or am I right? Right? I understand because I did it. I've been doing this for 20 years, y'all. I've been a school nutrition director, and I've also been an owner of a childcare. That's just kind of how my life played out. I was in both of those arenas. And what would happen is I'm the visionary for the organization. I'm the leader. I'm the manager, right? And there are so many things that are really going through my brain. I have a lot of things I want to focus on. This is my calling. This is my purpose. But what happens is real life is happening. Okay. So let me give you this scenario when I'm in the childcare. When I was director of childcare, I was not just dealing with food program. I was dealing with parents. I was dealing with children. I was dealing with curriculum. I was dealing with payments. I was dealing with the State Department. And then I was dealing with food program, right? That is a lot of hats to be wearing at all times. And as you know, when you're wearing a lot of hats or you have a lot of plates spinning, it's what I call it, sometimes things go crashing down. Sometimes fires happen, right? Let me give you the scenario when I was a child nutrition director, okay? In the school system, you're dealing with your administrative staff, your superintendent's office. You're dealing with your students. You're dealing with your staff. Staff is huge in school systems, okay? So if you think you got a huge staff in a daycare, you certainly had a huge staff when you're in the school system. And then I was dealing with the State Department as well. Rules, regulations, not just for menus, okay? We had rules for menus. We had rules for staffing. We had rules for compliance and purchasing. We had all these documents we had to fill out. The list goes on and on. And then no matter what scenario you're in, life is lifing, right? Things are happening. Fires are happening on a regular basis. And so what you are doing as a leader of your organization, as a director, as a visionary, is that in your mind, you have a program of excellence, right? You want to be the best at what you do. If you are in childcare, you want to be the best childcare in town. If you're in school nutrition, you want to provide the best program possible for kids. But you as a leader cannot do it on your own. Okay. And that's what we're talking about today. I want you to begin to think about going into 2025. What could you delegate? Okay. And some people do not like that term, delegation. They don't like the term delegation. They don't know what it means. They're like, okay, am I giving up my power? Am I giving my role of responsibility to someone who doesn't understand my role? Right. But the truth is, in order to leverage, for your program to grow, in order for you to have the time to focus on what's most important at that time, there are some things that you have to let go of. That matrix is about breaking down your task, right? What are your roles and responsibilities, and what is most important? What is the most thing that you prioritize? And in this matrix, you're going to find out that there is one box where you just need to delegate. You need to give it away to somebody else, right? So when we talk about delegation, again, that can be a scary thing. Let's just use a sample of menus. Okay, let's just start there. Now, you might be the best menu planner in town. You might like planning menus. You might say that, oh, this is a part of my responsibilities. But is it? Is it? Are you the best person in your organization to really be focusing on menus? Because menus are something that has to be done at least every month, right? At least every month. They got to be done daily, but if you are a good planner, you got to have them at least a few weeks before the month starts, right? They have to be compliant. You have to make sure that you can get a hold of those groceries. So are you the best person in your organization to do that? Or is that something you could be delegating? Is that something that you could turn over to another leader in your organization? Is it? Yeah, it really is. Because when you look at the priority of things that you have to manage as a leader in your organization, when menus, I'm just gonna leave it there. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it there because we know we want to provide great food, right? And we want our children to have nutritious food, and that's high priority for us. But if you're sitting down to do menus, today, what is December 13th, and we got January 1st is coming, another month. If you're sitting down to do your menus December 29th, that means you don't have it in the plan. Okay. So even the excellent program that you want to provide with great food is not there. It's not happening for you. Okay. And so you ask yourself, can I delegate this? Well, delegation isn't just about turning over to someone like me. I am here, right? I'm here. I can plan your menus. We can work together. We can partner together. That's what my whole business is about, is taking tasks off your plate and putting them on mine. But I want you to also think that there are other ways to delegate some of your tasks, with the example just being menus. Could you delegate it to someone who's already in your organization? Could you delegate pieces of it? If you have a cook, could that cook look at your menu and say, hey, this is what the kids like, this is what the kids don't like? And could you all plan that out for a 3-month span? Could you plan it out for a whole year? If you're working with me, we're planning it out for a whole year. We're putting those dates in there that your center or your organization is going to be closed. We're planning those holiday meals, putting them in there. We're planning for any unexpected things. But can I delegate this? Delegation is also about using tools as well. Are you using all the tools that are available to you to make that process easy? For instance, you work with some organizations and they're like, the kids don't want to eat the same thing every month. Is that true? Is that really true? Or is that you? Okay. And then have we really thought of outside the box on how to control this menu? There's a term called a cycle menu. A cycle menu is when we pretty much run the same items every 4 to 6 weeks. Okay. And people get a little funky about that. They're like, well, the kids they don't want to eat the same thing all the time, but that's just not true. Okay. When we're talking about a true cycle menu, we're talking about you controlling your menu by price, by forecasting, and making food that's still great to eat, but putting a standard in place. Okay. So for instance, you are going to use baked like a chicken breast. Okay. And you're like, well, the kids don't want chicken breast every 4 weeks. Is that true? Okay. Can we use that same chicken breast? And this week we might have a barbecue chicken breast. But the next time you use it, could you not change it into a fajita chicken breast? Yeah. Same product. Now you're controlling the cost. Now you're controlling the expectation, because you are saying that on the first week of every month for this entire year of 2025, we are serving some type of chicken breast. And you're changing the name, you're changing the flavor profile on it, but it's still a cycle menu because your main entree is staying the same. So that is a type of planning that you could be doing, right? And it's a type of delegation because you get other people involved. Okay. You get other people to think out the box of how many doggone recipes can we make from chicken breast, so that we can control what we're buying when we go to Sam's, when we go to Walmart, when we go to Wood Fruit Curve, when we go to Cisco. We're buying chicken breast every month at the same rate, so we can control our costs, so that we can get this particular task off our plate. We're going to plan it once, and then we're going to keep it moving. Okay. You're like, Lana, that sounds good, but I don't have anybody on my team who I think can manage that. And then I have to ask you again, is that true? Because if you are getting to the end of your month, you don't have time to plan menus, then maybe you are overworked and overwhelmed. Okay. There's too many things getting in your way. So you have to ask yourself, I don't have anybody on my team right now to do that right now. But is there someone on your team you could teach? Okay. So that now you're getting that menu accomplished earlier in the month. Can you take an hour or two to stop what you're doing and teach somebody on your team how to accomplish that particular task? No, they're not going to get it 100% right, especially not those first few times, right? But your role as the leader is to educate and then also follow up and retrain. Is it easier for you to wait to the last minute to do that particular task? Or is it easier for you to train someone to back you up? Okay, someone to have your back on that task. I'm going to let you know it is actually easier to train someone to do that, set up expectations, and follow through with making sure they've accomplished that particular goal. Okay, people are going to say, well, it's not in my job description. If you got people telling you it's not in their job description, you probably got the wrong people. Right? Because every job description I ever had when I was working said all other duties as assigned. Okay. And so we got a whole nother problem. You got people who can't manage that. So going into 2025, can you stop for a few minutes, evaluate your team, and see who can help you with certain tasks in your food program? Because remember, at the end of the day, your food program has to be compliant. If you're planning menus, and this is an example, you may not have a problem with menus. It's just the one that we're using. If at the end of the day, you're planning at last minute, you're probably missing something. And so ask yourself, is there someone on my team that could train? See, that's the one thing about proper delegation. Proper delegation isn't just saying, hey, you go do it. Proper delegation is saying, this is the task. These are the goals. These are the parameters. This is the due date. And this is when I'm going to follow back up on that. Right? And also having enough grace to retrain. Okay? I would much rather spend time training people than spending time stressing myself out because everything that I do is last minute. Okay? And then, yes, again, if you need help with that, I'm here for you. And I'm trained. Okay, I'm trained. But really, the moral of the story is going into 2025 with a new plan on how to manage your program. So with that, that's all I wanted to jump on today and say, and Facebook wouldn't let me be awesome. But look for more of these kind of conversations as we go into 2025. I'm going to try to see if I can launch this live stream again before we go into 2025. But I just wanted to say hi, introduce myself, let you know that Off My Plate Food Program Consultants is here to take things off your plate so you can really focus on what's important in your program. Okay? Because there are other things that you, as the leader and the organizer of your program, need to be focused on. Okay? I can't stress it enough. You have to do things like the food program with help, with teams. And there is support out here for you. If it's not inside your organization, then there are organizations like mine that can help you. Because our goal is to keep you compliant and keep those babies fed, offer awesome programs of excellence. That's my thing. I want your program to be excellent. I'm here to partner with you on that. So if I don't see you before the new year, Happy New Year. And stay plugged into the group so that we can have more conversations like this.